the success of that game, do you look back and still feel like, wow, we left a lot on the table?
Yeah, honestly, we spent a lot of time in the film room today, like close to 2 hours, because I feel like, it's game one. Not everything's going to be perfect. I think the thing about film, like you go back, it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems. There are still so many areas where we can continue to improve. I think the one thing we did do well is when things, we weren't in the proper coverage, we weren't in the proper help side, we recovered. We made plays for our teammates. We got deflections. We had blocks. If they got O boards, we had our hands up. So I think we just made plays for each other, and that's positive. But I think we can do a better job initially from the start of certain coverages, especially on defense, and then just getting our offense to flow a little bit better. I think we had some chances to really exploit some mismatches that we were hunting for coming into the game, and we didn't do quite as well of a job. But it's game one. I think that'll continue to get better.
Can the league put out a statement saying that they're investigating alleged comments from fans towards Sky players? We've talked about this in the past and how it should be an inclusive environment. Do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, there's no place for that in our game. There's no place for that in society. And, certainly we want every person that comes into our arena, whether player, whether fan, to have a great experience. So I appreciate the league doing that. I appreciate, the Fever organization has been at the forefront of that since, really day one and what they're doing. So hopefully the investigation, we'll leave that up to them to find anything and take the proper action if so.
Back to the basketball part of it. On the court, how did you feel you all, maybe got more in sync as the game went on? Like layups, backdoors, things like that?
Yeah, I think for us it starts on defense. I really do. I think transition offense is where we're going to thrive. I mean, we don't have to play in the half court. Why would we? It starts with getting stops, and we certainly did that. I think we held them to 13 points in the third and the fourth. Like, that's really, really good. It's good. We're going to be able to win a lot of games if we're able to do that, and we're not going to be able to do that every single quarter, but if we're able to piece together a few quarters where they're below 20, that's certainly our goal. So I think it starts there, but I think we just got a better flow. We were hunting mismatches. We were hunting screens for our teammates. I think it's all about setting your teammates up. How can you find them in ways to be successful? And not everybody has the same skills. Some people's strengths are going to be different than others, and I think as a point guard, that's my job, to put them in positions to be successful. And obviously I'm only playing with 4 people I played with last year, so I'm still learning in that regard as well.
What's it like chasing a rebound when you have 20, 10, and 9 on the floor?
Well, I went back into the game to help DB get her into third on the all-time scoring list. If you were watching the game, we were struggling a little bit there to even get her the ball in the half court. So I told Steph, I'm like, let me go in there. It's kind of driving me nuts on the baseline not watching DB get this. Or on the sideline not watching DB get this. So that was the main goal. And honestly, just getting to be on the floor and be a part of that, like such a historic moment of somebody that has given so much to this game and the league. But also, I mean, yeah, you can just feel the energy from the crowd. Like, they're also just itching for it. And, that's not why you play. But, I feel like that's the part of the game I take a lot of pride in. I want to be able to do a lot of different things for this team. And honestly, when I think I get the ball off of a missed shot, off the rebound, like, I think it's other teams have a really hard time stopping us in transition, and I can just pitch it up to my teammates to find ways to put them in positions to score.
Did you personally hear anything inappropriate?
It's super loud in here, although I didn't hear anything. I think, that's why they're doing the investigation. That's why they're looking into it. That doesn't mean nothing happened. So you just trust the league's investigation, and I'm sure they'll do the right thing.
Do you laugh sometimes when you hear people bet on? I mean, people bet on everything, but when you do something and people like, hey, I won. I mean, you can't just laugh at that, or how is it?
I think. Yeah, I mean, sports betting is a part of society. Every athlete knows that. Obviously we're not doing it. I don't care. If that's what makes the game interesting to people, so be it. I think most of our fans that are in here because they love the game, they love the product. They're not here to see a bet cash. But that's the world we live in. There's nothing bad if that's what somebody enjoys to do. I'm not going to frown upon that for them. So that's not, anything I'm too worried about. I'm worried about going out here and playing basketball the correct way.
Before the game, LeBron tweeted the photo and a message. I think that was from when the Lakers were here for the first time. I believe that was your first time meeting. What's that relationship like now as you two Nike athletes are building something special?
Well, I don't really get too starstruck from people, and that was a moment that I was I knew I was going to meet him when I was coming to the game, and that's one of my idols. LeBron is the GOAT to me, so I don't know, it was just a crazy moment where I got to meet him in the back, and then for him to go out of his way and wish me luck on the season. And he really does follow the WNBA, and he watches, and he loves and appreciates basketball, and he loves and appreciates the way the Fever and my teammates play. And I mean, it's just really cool. I saw that. I didn't see it before the game, but obviously a lot of people had sent it to me after the game. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I thought it was kind of fake at first, but he's my favorite player of all time. I mean, you never know in today's world, I guess. I didn't know. I was like, wait, is this actually LeBron James? I knew the picture was real because I knew that was me, but yeah, it was pretty incredible. Like, I mean, I don't get too starstruck, but he's one of those people that I did.
We got time for one more.
With the newcomers that you have, you knew, that they would be able to help offensively and defensively. But I really ask you specifically on defense. What do you
Excuse
guys
me.
think you're able to do better this year, especially with adding, DB and with Natasha, that maybe you weren't able to do as well last year?
Well, I think there's so many things we can do switching wise. I think whether DB's playing the 3, whether the DB's playing the 4, and I've said this previously, I think as the team on the other side of the ball, knowing I've gone against DB, it's a real challenge to know what they're going to do in that position. It's a real challenge to even when we're on offense, like how do you guard that too? So there's just so many different things that we can do. But also I think defensively, I think Bree has really challenged our group to be physical, to be up in their space. But also like if you're going to be physical and you're going to deny passing lanes, you're going to try to get steals, you're going to jam up handoffs, you have to have help side. So I think really rotating, helping your teammates. You're never by yourself. You're never playing just one-on-one defense. Maybe you are at the point, but you always have built-in help. So I think they've really challenged us in that way. And like I said, I think that was part of the reason we had success on the defensive end on Saturday is because I thought we made up for certain mistakes and we had our teammates back. Thanks, guys.
What did film reveal to you about that game that you maybe didn't feel in the moment?
I think anytime you go back and watch the film, it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seemed. There's a lot of areas that we can grow. On both ends of the floor. I felt like again when you go back and you watch it, our activity level on defense was good. Our execution wasn't. Offensively, I think we're taking away opportunities to put more pressure on the defense. Sometimes we're rushing to the next action that we're not putting first things first and executing the first action. So a lot of areas for growth and good opportunities for us to shore it up moving forward.
What is the balance for you of here are the things we did well, let's talk about those versus we stunk at this, we gotta talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, we always show good things too. Well, I guess I shouldn't say always. Most of the time we show good things too because there were some really good moments and we want to make sure that we do balance that out. I mean, I've been a player and I've been a part of some of those film sessions where there's not a lot of great stuff, but being able to see what it can look like, how easy it can be, what really good defensive coverages look like as well as offensively as well. So we try to go about 60-40.
Galen was saying it was like a 2-hour session today.
Yep.
Why so long, or why the extended time?
Well, part of it was not related to the game. It was more just kind of seeing practice facility, what it's going to look like. And then we went through and we went over Chicago film, and then we did some scout film for Atlanta. So it was one of those long days where you don't have a lot of time. Had a day off yesterday, so you really want to make sure we're not at the point yet where we don't need both. I don't know if we will be. So we just took a little bit more time today to work on our mental, more so than the physical.
We put out a statement saying the comments from the Sky players may have heard. I guess what do you have to say in response to that, or what you say to the team about it?
Yeah, first of all, we told the team that obviously we're going to cooperate fully with the investigation, but there's no place for that in our league. Whether it's at home, whether it's on the road, it doesn't matter. We want to encourage our players, our staff, to bring recognition to it in real time. If it's heard, if it's seen, or anything from that nature, but there's just no place for it in our league. I often say, it's great. Be a fan. Don't be a jerk. Like be respectful, and be passionate. But it's not that hard to not be a jerk. Like enjoy our game, enjoy what these women do on a daily basis. Boo the other team. All of those things. But there's no place for it in our game.
Sophie participated in the open front practice today. Just how is she progressing, or do you anticipate her being available for tomorrow?
She's progressing really well. I think every day we see her movement. Every day we see her more confident, a little more balanced. I know Sophie wants to play tomorrow. I know she has some more tests to go through just to see if she's going to be ready. But in my mind, I want to make sure that she's 100% ready. We've got a lot of games in a short period of time. We need her on the floor. I don't want to rush it and have any setbacks. So we'll see what her testing goes through today and what the results of that are, and then meet with with the training staff and talk with Sophie about a game plan.
We saw you on your game day, LeBron sending something out about Caitlin. You talked about the city coming together.
Yeah.
How about the NBA and WNBA, two of the best players, supporting one another and watching each other's games for games?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's again just the synergy across the boards, and these are players who respect one another's games, who watch and who value what each other brings to the table. There are very few people, in the world who can kind of understand what Caitlin goes through. LeBron is one of them. I think Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, are other ones. And so to have support from a guy like him, and the synergy across the W and the NBA as a whole, great resources for our players to be able to communicate with, bounce things off of. But obviously, even just for us as a league, the support is huge.
This team has struggled defensively the last couple of years before you got here. How much of a focus has that been for you guys to be better on that end, and what did you like and not like about what you guys did in that game Saturday?
I think defense has been a really big emphasis in training camp. Bree January, she's really been honest about defense. She's really over on defensive schemes. But we've been all about helping each other out, covering, making sure we know personnel, knowing our coverages, and making sure we're on the help side, and just really tightening things up early rather than later in our season.
The WNBA obviously put out that statement yesterday about hate speech, and I know you tweeted about it yesterday as well. Just what were your thoughts on that and kind of what they're doing to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think all players in W should feel safe where they're playing. Game bridge, on the road, I think all players. So if they felt an investigation was warranted, I more than support that. I think they should, whatever was happened should be investigated, and the appropriate action should be taken forward if something's found. I think a lot of times people want to brush to the side and be like, oh, it was only one person, or one person is too many. If one person said something, so I think it's worth the investigation. If they find nothing, they find nothing, but if someone thinks they heard something or said something, I think it's warranted to investigate it.
I've spoken about these topics throughout the years. Why is that something important to emphasize, not just in these moments, but positive moments as well, just in creativity?
Yeah, I never want to normalize hate speech or bigotry or being like it's part of the game, because it's not. I mean, we're at work. I know we're entertainment. For a lot of people are like, this is our jobs. I don't say anybody to go to work and face hatred or anything like that. So I think we just want to uphold a standard across the league, not just for us, but for our opponents as well. We want them to know that if they come in here, they can alert team security, usher, and anything of that nature. But for me, speaking up is something I've always done. Obviously, I get backlash here than the other, but that's okay to me. I'm here to speak my truth and say what I have to say.
From a basketball standpoint, I know you talked about implementing yourself with a new team. But just get out there. Do you practice things? You go over what it could be, but just get out there and get the real reps?
We talk about stack of the day, so we're really taking it one day at a time, and literally, honestly, at this point, hour by hour. So just getting out there, growing with each other, learning each other. Obviously, it's really early in the season, so we're not going to be perfect day one, but we know we can build every day.
Natasha, how did you feel about just the game one and you finding a rhythm with everyone?
I felt good in game one. My teammates was finding me in good positions. Overall, I felt good, and the team also felt good as well.
There's a couple times where I think Caitlin missed you, or you whatever. Is that the perfect example of, hey, just give us some time here and we'll figure that out?
Absolutely. I'm still learning Caitlin. She's still learning me. At the end of the day, we're gonna still keep building, and that pass she's gonna pass me that time, we're gonna actually connect it. So.
What do you like about what you all did defensively? I mean, very rare to hold the team below 30% shooting, but it looked like, at least on that part, you all did pretty good.
Absolutely. Our defense is good. That's what we harped on a lot. It's our defense, because our defense is going to help us win games. Because we could score. We have everybody on the team that could actually score, but our defense will actually help us win games that we need to win. And I feel like we did everything that we need to do on Saturday when we played against Chicago. So.
How do you anticipate the openness of the shots you're going to get here comparing to other stops you've been in your career, just given the play style you guys have and the attention some of the other teammates?
Repeat that again, sorry.
How open some of your shots might be here, or the ones you like, compared to other places you've been in your career, given some of the other talent that draws attention? I
feel like open shots is going to be easy. It's not going to be hard, because we have a good point guard, Caitlin Clark. Her IQ is amazing when it comes to passing the ball. It's going to make all of our jobs easy for each other. And at the end of the day, we're going to keep building, keep stacking.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.